Hi, today we will talk about loops. Loops probably is the most important, one of the most important components of the language, right, of programming language. So at certain level, all programming languages are just number of certain commands, no more than 20, I would say. And then building all this awesomeness over there, we are doing it like step by step by using all these 20 commands, right? Okay, what is loop? Let me start Anaconda as always. We'll go to Spider, right? And start exploring what is loop itself. Usually, in the world, in real world, you want to some kind of to repeat certain things, right? But you repeat certain things. For example, you want to print number, right? But you want this number to be changed every time a little bit. For example, you want to print out all the squares, all the power of 2 of different numbers, like from 1 to 10. So in reality, you want to print out something like what? You want to have, you want to print out 1, 4, 9, 16, what else? 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, right? So how to automate what, right? What I want to be, in reality, I want to print out something like number I, which changes from 1 to 10, right? And every time I want to print out I multiplying on I. How do I do that, right? This is some kind of repetition, what you feel right now, this repetition, right? The only stuff what I want to change this number, right? So there are two different loops in Python, probably more right now, I'm not sure. Usually for loop and do while loop. Those exist in all languages. Whatever you choose, there are always like for loops and while loops. So what's the difference? Let's start with for loop by implementing this example, right? Yeah, as I mentioned, I wanted all to print out all the squares, power of 2 of integer numbers from 1 to 10, right? How do I do that? I create for loop I, it's my variable name, in range, and I specify what 1 to 11. So you can ask me why range is a special functions that produce numbers from 1 to 10. In this case, you ask me like why 10 if I see 11 here? The reason is simple, like it doesn't include the last number, right? So here, by doing this command, what I mentioned, but my variable will be changing from 1 to 10. So it will start from I equals 1, when it will do whatever I ask here in the body of the loop, print I, something like the power of pool of number, and I print out I is I multiplying on I, right? Let us launch that, and then I'll explain. Okay, perfect, right? This is exactly what we wanted. Let me print this stuff. So I will call it loops.py. So what does it do now? I starts from something what is indicated as the lower region, as the starting point. So I equals 1. When it does whatever I put in this body of the loop, I can put any number of command here, like print hello world, right? When it reaches the end of the loop body, it comes back here and takes the new number. In this case, because range produces like numbers from 1 to 10, in this case, it will pick up 2. So what happens, like I equals 2, it comes here. The power of 2 of number I equals 2, again 2, is 2 multiplying on 2. When it will print out hello world, when it comes to the end of this command, it starts again, but with a new number, next one. The next one after 2 is 3, right? 1, 2, 3, and when it repeats what? So till the last number 10. Again, the last number for range, a special command that produces consequent numbers, is not included here, right? So the last number will be 11 minus 1, 10. And here we do. Here we go. Here all the commands here. Produce whatever I desire. I put inside this loop body. Okay. So for loop, the way you see what, when we know how many iterations we need to do, how many times we need to repeat this loop, when exactly for loop is used. For example, here I know what I need to repeat my loop 10 times, exactly from 1 to 10, right? This is exactly perfect example of usage of for loop. When you know how many times you need to repeat, you use what? And that's exactly where it's used often. For example, we can reiterate through the list, arrays, through number of points, whatever quantities are already known a priori before we want to use this loop. There is another loop, so-called while loop. So while loop operates a little bit differently. While has a statement. Do you remember we talked about the if statements, right? Here it's the same. So while has expression here, whatever expression, while this expression is true, it executes whatever we put here. So in this case, I want to print out the same stuff. I want to print out the square roots, sorry, not square roots, power of 2 of numbers from 1 to 10, but using while loop. How do I do that? Not a problem. So like, why not? I do new variable j. I will start with variable j equals 1, right? I will put j multiplying on j, something similar what you guys saw here, right? But I will try to use another variable. But here, when this expression is true, why not I put here something like what, j less than 10. So what happens? While j equals 1, not a problem. While j less than 10, 1 is less than 10, I will print out power of number j is equal 1 is 1 multiplying on 1. So let me start with stuff. Now you will be surprised. Okay, it doesn't stop, it prints out all that stuff. Why is what? Why is what? By the way, I click Ctrl+C to kill all that stuff, right? It's simple, right? J equals 1. J is less than 10. It comes to the end here and starts again. it comes to the beginning of j, to the beginning of while loop, and again j equals less than 10, it repeats like infinite number of times. So it's infinite loop. How to fix that? Not a problem. I just need to increase my j every time I come here, right? Because I want to print out not only power of 2 of number 1 is 1, I want next number 2, I want all the numbers still 10. How do I do that? When I come here at the end of this loop, I increase this j by 1. So what happens? J equals 1, not a problem. J is less than 10, not a problem. J is less than 10, 1 less than 10. 1 power of 2 of number 1 is 1 multiplying on 1. When new j equals all j, 1 plus 1, j equals 2. Here's the end of body, loop body, it comes here. 2 is less than 10. Yes, 2 is less than 10. When power of 2 of number 2 is 2 multiplying on 2, 4. When it comes here, new j equals all j, 2 plus 1, j equals 3. And when it comes, it repeats until j equals 10. And when new j equals 10 plus 1, 11. And when it comes here, actually I should put something like 11. 11, is it less than equal than 10? Not at all. At this time, while loop is finished, because the statement here is false statement. It breaks from the loop. So let us see how it operates, right? And here we go. We print it out again, the same, but using while loops, right? The same power of 2 of different numbers from 1 to 10. Absolutely the same, using two different for loops, two different loops. So while loop is basically used when you don't know how many times you're going to repeat. Sometimes you don't know a priori when how many times it will be executed. Usually, for example, this while loop is used for games. So in the game loop, you are in the game until you hit certain buttons like escape, or you close the window, you are in the loop. So this while loop repeats the game, it goes, and when we actually will be studying Pygame module, you will see there will be infinite Pygame loop, right? You're in the game, it's executed, and when you close the window, it's stopped. So what happens here in this infinite while loop, you kind of stop the loop. And the statement becomes false. And then you break from the loop. Okay, thank you guys. That's all for today. Don't hesitate to ask any comments, to ask questions.